I finally get to take my witch doll to legendary grade. Now, a lot of you might think, well, why is that a big deal? Witch doll really isn't that good. In combat, yes, she's really not that useful, but in many other cases, she is. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Coliseum, because that's where that's one of the instances where she really shines. As you can tell, we have a constellation of dwarf, and it says boost magical crit by 25% and force by 30%. Now, a lot of people might not know what exactly force is, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about it. But before we go any further, let me just say that what I believe is the best team for this week's constellation is the one that you're looking at right now. Unfortunately, there's really only one free-to-play hero in there, and if you think about the constellation and the actual free-to-play heroes that benefit from it, it's not really many. Like, people might think, okay, well, Tracker is in the constellation, so she's gonna benefit from it. Heroes like, let's see, like Trickster, but unfortunately, even though they're in the constellation, they don't really benefit whatsoever. So let's talk about it. Why is this team so good? First of all, as you can tell, people are having a hell of a time with this team, and that's before Witch Doll even goes to gold grade. The reason why this team is good, not only does it actually make use of the constellation, but they control the battle freaking really well. If you take a look at Berserker, her ultimate freezes the enemy in place. If you look at Witch Doll, her ultimate freezes enemy in place. If you look at Petite Devil, you guessed it, she doesn't freeze enemies, but she pretty much stuns them for 5 seconds. So if you take a look at all of the stuns, and we all know what Rose Knight can do. She heals, she tanks, she stuns. This is a team that can just completely decimate yours without you being able to move. Then of course you have Lord Weaver for heals. And now we're going to go ahead and take Witch Doll up to legendary grade. Now I'm pretty sure that once I take her up to legendary grade, she's going to be up here somewhere. Maybe by Watcher or something like that. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Witch Doll 150 out of 150 calculated. And this is the first hero out of maybe 6 more that I'm going to be taking up to gold in maybe the next couple of weeks. I know for sure Petite Devil is going to go up to gold by the end of the week. I'm not sure when she's going to come out, but it'll be fairly soon. Alright, so let's go ahead and use a 24-hour. I really hate to use 24-hour speed ups for things like this, but I mean, how can you not? Alright, here we go. Witch Doll, legendary grade. Yes. Okay, so where does she actually end up? I'm pretty sure she's gonna be at the top. Yeah, pretty much at the top, right next to Watcher. Wow, I called it. So let's go back over here. Now, why is it important for Witch Doll to be gold grade? Well, if you guys know about the assassins like Demon Slayer or Femme Fatale here, what they do is that they jump over to the highest intelligence hero, and what's gonna happen now is that Witch Doll is gonna be my highest intelligence hero, so my Lore Weaver isn't going to be as easy to target as she was when my my Witch Doll was purple grade. When you have Lore Weaver and Witch Doll at the same grade, that's usually the best case scenario, because then the Demon Slayers, etc., are gonna have a hell of a time trying to get to you. But then, of course, just in Coliseum in general, she's probably one of the best heroes. Top 3, definitely top 3. So let's talk about this Coliseum and the constellation. Magic Crit and Force. A lot of people already know what Magic Crit is. There's really not much to explain there. But Force, I feel like a lot of people don't really understand what Force is. So let's talk about it. Witch Doll, if you go over to her attributes, right, you'd have to actually scroll down. A lot of people don't know that you can scroll down and see some more stats here. And Force is going to be very end of it. So Force, she pretty much didn't have any force whatsoever, but she's at 15 force. And if you click on it, it'll show you it reduces enemies' magic defense. So if you really think about the constellation now, and you read it as magic crit plus 25%, force plus 30%, that just means that their magic defense is going to go down, which means that the magic crit is going to be even more effective. Which goes now to looking at the other heroes that are affected by this, like a tracker, like a, I don't know, what was the other one? Like a trickster. They're not magic dealers, so force and magic crit are not going to affect them whatsoever. Yes, they're dwarves, but they're really not affected. You see the stars, but they're really not going to be affected. Now, why exactly are they not affected? Well, if you look at Tracker and you look at her attributes and you go all the way down, you don't see force anywhere. And if you look at Trickster, where is the tricky man? There we go. You go down, you don't go anywhere. You don't see force anywhere. Well, why is that? Well, if you take a look at somebody like a Songstress of the Sea, and you go down, well, you see force. And if you look at her items, you see that this is where force comes from these magical items, force plus 16, etc. So if these heroes have no force whatsoever, then they are not going to benefit from a force boost. And this is not Star Wars, by the way. So now I'm not 100% sure if, even though they don't have any force, where it says force plus 30%, if it actually affects them in any way. But you would think 30% of 0 is 0. So now I don't know that by 100%, but it just makes logical sense that if they don't have any force whatsoever, a boost of 30% force is not going to do anything at all. So I believe this right here is the best overall team. Now, is it perfect? Is it unbeatable? No, every team is beatable. But overall, I believe this is the best team right now. It's going to be even better when Petite Devil goes to gold. But as a free-to-play player, really, the only few heroes that you can use, technically, that will benefit you is... come on. We all know that she's going to be used, because if you're free-to-play, she's your dedicated healer. And then, other than that, maybe Sea Squire. The other heroes really aren't usable. Like these two, they're really not that usable in most situations. So really, Sea Squire, it will be the only one in Prima Donna. And you gotta be very careful using Sea Squire. I actually made a video specifically about Sea Squire and in the Coliseum, so I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to check that out. But finally, the Witch Doll goes up to gold grade. If you guys wanna, if you want me to go ahead and break down all the constellations every week and give you maybe what the best free-to-play and pay-to-play team is for that week, I definitely can do that, because I find it pretty fun, and Colosseum in general is pretty fun. But now let's talk about Witch Doll and her actual battle skills. Now, before we go on, I want to just make sure that when I say battle skills, people know exactly what I'm talking about. When we're looking at Witch Doll, we only see construction boost, research boost, and a training speed boost. The first thing I want to clarify, and I've run into people that have thought this, you do not need to have said hero to actually get these benefits. Like, I do not need to have Witch Doll as my leader for me to actually benefit from this. If you actually take a look at these boosts, you'll see that it says administration. I'll put an arrow right next to it. Administration. If you have an administration boost, that boost is always going to be active. You don't have to equip the hero as your leader or anything like that. So all of these are administration. And obviously, there is no combat boost. So Witch Doll is not going to be one that I want to send into combat. Even though she's a cavalry type, she's definitely not one that I want to send into combat. Now, if you take a look at Lore Weaver, now you'll see that it says logistics. Now, here where it says logistics, those are the boosts that you need to have them either as your leader or in the party with your leader in a fight or in a battle in order for you to get these boosts. So the army max HP, army defense, army attack, etc. That's the difference between logistics and administrative. And I've seen so many people have Trickster in there because they want to get the energy boost, or they want to regenerate their energy faster, or they want the research speed. And no. That's not how it works. So hopefully, for those of you that didn't know that, now you know. If it's administration, you do not need to have your leader or the hero as your leader. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up today's video. Hopefully you guys learned something new. If you didn't, hopefully you enjoyed the video nonetheless. Petite Devil, I'm gonna go ahead and need you to go to gold grade. Hopefully she comes out in a couple of days. The way that the rotation works, she should come out this week, maybe later in the week, but she should come out. So she's gonna be the next one that I take up to gold, and then Femme Fatale, and then etc. etc. You get the picture. Yeah, appreciate you guys for watching, and until later, bye.